Hi students, before beginning the demo video, I would like to request all of you to keep a piece of paper and a pen with you to kind of take notes. Also, this is just a demo video. When we have one-to-one classes, I will not be the only one speaking as in the demo video. Rather, we will be having a one-on-one discussion, brainstorming sessions and question answer sessions. So this is just a video giving you the basic minimum idea of how we will be teaching at Verve. Okay, let's say you have a fixed amount of resources and you have to produce two goods out of it. You have the demand for two goods and you have a fixed number or fixed amount of resources. So the first thing that we are seeing is that we have a fixed amount of resources. The second assumption that would be that we would be taking is that those resources will be used to the fullest of capacity. The third assumption that we will be taking while preparing a PP curve is that the technology will not be changed. There is no change in technology. And lastly, the fourth and one of the most important assumptions is that the resources, when they are transferred from the production of, let's say, good A to the production of good B, the efficiency of that particular resource will decrease. Why so? Because no resource is equally helpful in producing two different kind of goods. Hence, while we are transferring one resource to the from production of good A to production of good B, the efficiency of that particular resource is decreasing, and hence we will have an increasing cost of production for the second good. Why this happens is that when we have two goods, let's say A and good A and good B, and we have a particular resource which, let's say, is more useful in the production of good A and is less useful in the production of good B, hence its efficiency while getting transferred from good A to production of good B will decrease. So yes, considering these four assumptions, we begin with understanding what a PPC is. So the name itself suggests that it is a possibility curve. So yes, this curve will depict possible combinations of production of good A and good B with limited amount of resources. Let's say good A is guns, which we will measure in thousands, and let's say good B is butter, which we will be measuring in million kg. So there will be, in my example, I'll be using possibility A, B, C, D, E and F. So I've got six possibilities of or six possible combinations of good A and good B being produced, wherein possibility A will have only the production of guns and no production of butter, and possibility F will have only the production of butter and no production of guns. Throughout, we have to remember, friends, that the resources are constant. There is no change in technology and we are utilizing the resources to the fullest. So yeah, let's get started. We begin with possibility A. Let's say in possibility A, please carry a pen and a paper. That would be helpful for you. I'm pausing for 10 to 15 seconds just to help you get a paper and pen. So yeah, I took up this topic of PPC because I had received 2 to 3 queries on what a PPC is. And while thinking of making a demo, I thought, why not take up PPC as a topic? So yeah, I hope you all have got a paper and pen. So coming back to the demo video, for possibility A, we have 0 amount of butter being produced and 15,000 guns being produced. In this case, we see that there is no butter, there is only guns. So all violence, no food. We go to possibility B, where we felt that okay, there is a demand for 1 million kilogram of butter. So what to do? Fixed resources hai. So while I'm transferring the resources from good A, that is gun, to good B, that is butter, it is quite obvious that since the amount of resources is fixed, where we transfer the resources from A to B, the production of good A will automatically decline by certain number of units. In this case, to produce 1 million kg of butter, we are having to forego 1000 units of guns. Hence, the production of guns is dropping from 15,000 unit of guns to 14,000 unit of guns. In this case, we also have to see another concept of economics, that is marginal opportunity cost of butter, which is in terms of thousands of guns. What it means is that what marginal opportunity cost of butter is, that to produce one additional unit of butter, how many units of good A or guns do you have to forego or sacrifice? That amount of units of good A sacrifice to produce good B is the marginal opportunity cost. Marginal opportunity cost, in the name itself has the word margin, which means increase in 1 unit of production of good B. मतलब point A to point B जब हम बढ़ रहे हैं, from 0 to 1 when we are increasing, what is the number of units of guns that we are foregoing? Again from B to C when we are moving, then what is the number of units that we are foregoing for producing of butter? How many units of guns we are foregoing? As I tell you the example, you'll get a clearer picture. So please make 4 columns. The first column will have possibilities, that is the possible number of combinations. The next column will have butter measured in million kg. Third will be guns measured in 1000. Fourth and the last one is MOC, that is marginal opportunity cost of butter in terms of thousands of guns. So yeah, first is possibility A. Please write 0 under butter and 15 under guns. In this case, we don't have any marginal opportunity cost because we are producing only guns. In situation B, please write 1, that is 1 million kilogram of butter. We need to produce that now. For this, we are foregoing 1000 units of guns. Hence, the third column will have 14 written in it. The marginal opportunity cost of butter in terms of thousands of guns will be 1. That is 1000 guns. Then we write possibility C, 2 million kg of butter. Now for this we see that the amount or unit of guns that we are foregoing is additional 2000 unit of guns. Hence our production of gun drops from 14,000 unit of guns to 12,000 unit of guns. Hence we see that initially where the MOC was 1, now the MOC becomes 2. The question arises, why is that while producing one additional unit of butter, we had to forego 1000 unit of guns, and to produce 2 million kg of butter, we are having to forego 2000 guns and not again 1000 extra guns. This is because when we transfer resources from the production of one good to another, their efficiency decreases, hence increasing the cost of production. Also, the resources are required at a larger amount when we increase the number of units of the second good. Hence, the production of good A decreases at a higher margin than what it had decreased for the earlier additional unit of production. Now coming to possibility D, that is 3 million kg of butter. We are foregoing or we are producing 9000 unit of guns. Hence, we are foregoing 3000 units of guns, that is 12 minus 9. Further moving on to E, we are producing 4 million kg of butter, producing 5000 unit of gun. Hence, the MOC comes to 4000 units of guns. Lastly, we decide to produce only butter, no guns. Hence, the MOC of butter is 5000 unit of gun for possibility F. Now, draw two axes, one vertical, one horizontal. The vertical one will be named y-axis, the horizontal one will be named x-axis. the point of interception, where point y is where x-axis is crossing y-axis, that particular point will be numbered 0. Name x-axis as butter and in bracket mention million kg. Y-axis will be named guns in bracket thousands. Now equally divide x-axis into 5 parts, that is 0, which is already written, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can use centimeter for the sake of convenience at the moment. 1 centimeter denotes 1 unit. Then we move on to y-axis. There you need to mark your y-axis accordingly with the same denomination that you had measured x-axis. So we mark it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 15, since the highest margin was 15,000 guns. Now we have to mark the points where possibilities intercept. Possibility A through possibility F, wherever they are intercepting, we have to put a point at that particular interception juncture. So possibility A, we have 15,000 guns and 0 butter. Hence that dot will fall on y-axis. Then we will move to possibility B, where you have to match. In butter, see where point 1 is. Move forward with your pencil, pen, finger, whatever. Move upwards and see what is the amount of guns being produced against 1 million kg of butter. We see that it is 14,000 guns. So wherever that point is intercepting, we will mark it as point B. Similarly, we will repeat the steps for C, D, E and F, where point F will lie directly on point on x-axis. Now what you have to do is you have to play join the dots. Yeah, you have to join all the dots from A to B to C to D to E to F. A continuous curve. Once you draw the curve, you will see you will notice, I would rather say, 2 characteristics of this curve. That is, it is concave to the origin. What does it mean? It is bending outwards. If your axis is this way, then your curve is coming this way, bending outwards from the origin. This is called a concave curve. Another thing that we noticed is that the curve moved downwards. When we were marking the possibilities, the dots came downwards. Hence, the curve also followed a downward slope towards the right. The reason being that production of additional unit of butter requires additional resources which have to be transferred from the production of guns to production of butter, which in turn causes a fall in the production of guns. Hence, the points will go downwards as a downward slope. Why it has a concave curve from the origin? That is because of increasing opportunity cost. As I had mentioned, friends, what is opportunity cost? It is the number of units of good A which you have to forego to produce good B. Marginal opportunity cost is the amount of units of good A you have to forego to produce a unit increase in production of good B. So we had seen that to produce 1 additional unit of butter, the amount of guns that we had to forego kept increasing from 1000 to 2000 to 3 to 4 to 5. So yeah, those are the 2 characteristics of a production possibility curve. So another thing is, a production possibility curve is also called a transformation curve or a production possibility frontier. These words can be used interchangeably. Let's define a PP curve. I am reading ad verbatim. A production possibility curve is the curve which shows various combinations of 2 goods that can be produced with available techniques with given amount of resources. So in our example, we have already seen Let's break down the definition. We see that we have a curve which is showing various combinations, that is A, B, C, D, E, F, of two goods, guns and butter, that can be produced with available technique with given amount of resources which are fixed. Now, I'll again repeat the assumptions for you to be clearer on this. We had assumed that the productive resources are fixed, also that they are being used to the fullest. There has been no change in technology, and when the resource is being transferred from production of one good to the other, its efficiency gets decreased, hence causing an increase in the cost of production. So yeah, these were the assumptions that we had taken for preparing a PPC. I would just like to show you a diagram. I hope this can be seen. This is what I was talking about. So the vertical axis is the y-axis, the horizontal axis is the x-axis. There you have various combinations A, B, C, D, E, and we have joined the curves, the dots, to form a PPC or a production possibility curve. Another thing, now let's discuss. Now let's see this. This is in furtherance to the production possibility curve. You can see that I have marked a shade with pencil inside the curve. Just a second, this is not getting focused. Yeah. So the portion which is shaded, this denotes that any combination within this curve, that is from the point of origin to the PPC, is an attainable possible combination. Here you can see it is marked as C. So this combination is attainable. But this also pushes us to think in another way, from the devil's advocate point of view, that either the resources are not being utilized fully or some resources are lying idle. Therefore, as we remember that one of the assumptions was that our resources are getting fully utilized. If the resource is getting fully utilized, we should have had a possibility juncture on the PPC or a point on the PPC. But since the point is inside the PPC, we can safely assume that either the resource is not getting fully utilized or it is lying idle. Another thing here we observe is point D, which is lying outside the PPC. This point, that is point D, or this combination of point D or the possibility of point D, is currently unattainable due to lack of resources and the lack of advancement in technology. Why I am sharing this? Because our next point will be in furtherance to this. The point D can be attainable in future if there is a shift in the possibility curve, if there is a shift in the production possibility curve. When will that happen? When there is an economic growth. When there is an economic growth, it will shift the production possibility curve outside, and at that time point D will become attainable. What will happen when there is economic growth? Obviously, over time the amount of resources will increase. Also, there will be technological advancement which will cause the curve to shift outside. Why is it shifting outside? Because of economic growth causing the point outside the current PPC to be attainable in future, considering there is economic growth. Now, the last thing that we will go through is the basic problems on a production possibility curve. So we have the problem of scarcity, the problem of choice. We also have the problem of full and efficient utilization of resources and the problem of economic growth. So these are generally called the central problems of a PPC. The problem of scarcity is shown in point D. I'll just show you the diagram. There friends, if you can see, we have our point D here. Right now this is unattainable because of lack of resources, which is also scarcity of resources. This is one problem. Moving on to the next problem of a production possibility curve, we have the problem of choice, which means we have to choose between the attainable points on the production possibility curve. If we choose A, we cannot choose B. If we choose B, we cannot choose C. So we have to choose one particular point where we have to decide कि we have to produce this many units of good A and these many units of good B. So there lies the problem of choice. And also to consider, if we want to increase the production of one good, the production of other good has to decrease, considering, remember the assumption that we had made that the resources are getting fully utilized and we have fixed resources. Problem of what to produce. Now, any particular point on a PPC are possible combinations of those two goods getting produced, right? Different points represent different combinations of those two goods. So, at what point the economy decides to operate will depend on the taste and preferences of individuals in an economy. It sounds very easy on the paper, but practically if we see, this is a very kind of ludicrous thing even to think of. How would you determine what each and every individual is wanting, is demanding for, and then get the exact amount of production for good A, good B? So yeah, there lies the problem of what to produce, considering that in the framing of a PPC, in the preparation of the possibilities of PPC, the combinations get determined by the demand of the economy, of the individuals of the economy. Also, we have the problem of full and efficient utilization of resources, which means that whenever there is a point within the production possibility curve, as I had shown you in the diagram, which is this. In this diagram, I have shown you that point C lies within the PPC. This combination is attainable, but on the other hand, if we think from a devil's advocate point of view, we can come to a conclusion that either some of the resources are not getting fully utilized or they are remaining idle. Hence, this is causing a wastage of the resources or improper utilization of resources. Moving on to the last problem of a PPC, we have the problem of economic growth. As pointed out, a PPC is drawn on the assumption of given resources and technology. Resources are fixed, technology is unchanged. Economic growth results in increased availability of resources and technological equipment or development, as I have already said while explaining this earlier. So as a consequence, the capacity of the economy to produce goods and services increase and the curve gets shifted outwards as illustrated. So once there is economic growth, point D, which lied outside the PPC and which was unattainable earlier, becomes attainable with the availability of increased resources and technological development which happened due to economic growth. Hence, that is also a problem of PPC, because a PPC will never remain on the same place. It will never remain constant. It will keep on changing because economic growth is constantly happening. It is always kind of omnipresent. Hence, the point D, which lies outside the curve, will be attainable in the situation of an economic growth. At that point, what will happen, that the earlier points which we had drawn, that was from point A through point F, A, B, C, D, E, F, those will become points where the resources will remain unutilized or improperly utilized. Hence, constantly we have to keep thinking about the advancement and availability of resources and keep pushing our PPC further to the right. If you wish to book our classes, please connect with us through verb.eclasses@gmail.com, or you can connect to us through our official Facebook page or our official LinkedIn page. Until then, thank you so much. Have a good day.